Yeah, family, what's going on? Before I begin this story, man, I want to give a shout out, man, to Trenches News because he spoke on the story that I'm about to speak on, as well as SNTV. Uh, May that brother be free, man, real soon. He also spoke on this story. It's a story, man, that hits home in damn near every community uh, within our community in the United States of America, man. It's a tragic story. It's a sad story, terrible story, with no end in sight. But it's a story, man, that needs to be told because this very story is going on in our communities, man, every day. It's a story of two different sets, man, out of the south side of Chicago. Uh, One set called SODMG, the other set called 50 Strong. These two sets, man, have been into it for years, you know, with no peace in sight for the near future. I'll speak about this story after seeing it again today, such a terrible story, man. But let me begin. SODMG, uh, better known as Scrap or Die Molly Gang, are a subset, I guess you would call a subset of the Black P Stone Nation in the city, or the Stones, you know, shortened term for Black P Stone. Most people know them as Stones. And 50 Strong is a subset of the GD's, Gangster Disciple Nation. And like I say, these two sets have been into it for years. But it's two individuals that I want to speak about within this story, which makes this story just so tragic. The first person I would like to speak on went by the name of Scrap. That's where the scrap or die part come from. And he was known as a trapper. We know what most trappers do. They sell drugs and, they got other ways of getting money too, but for the most part, most trappers sell drugs. And a few of his people were murdered allegedly at the hands of 50 Strong. And one of the people that was murdered was reportedly a cousin of Scraps. And because of this, Scrap took it upon himself, man, to murder the person that murdered his cousin, and that person was named Dale. Shondale, or Dale for short, a member of 50 Strong. And he was known as a trapper as well, but both of them put in a little work, you know. Dale reportedly, allegedly, putting in the most work, but Scrap made up his mind, man, that he was going to eliminate this guy and those around him. And the mission that he was going to make in order to try to eliminate this guy, man, was basically a suicide mission. And he called one of his big homies to let him know, hey, if I don't make it out this shit alive, man, take care of my kids for me. So he kind of halfway knew that he might not make it after doing what it was he was getting ready to do. Well, him and another member from his particular set went to the area of 50 Strong, who reportedly had a basketball game going on, block party, basketball game. Him and this other guy jump out the whip, man, with AKs and other weapons and start shooting up the area of 50 Strong at the game. Dale was murdered, but Scrap, in an attempt to get away, was also hit and murdered. The guy with him couldn't wait on him because by that time Scrap was already dead, so he had to get away. But members of 50 Strong walked up on him and reportedly Scrap had on a mask, ski mask. They pulled the mask off, found out who it was, and they stomped this man's body repeatedly after he was already murdered. Some people say that this shit was on video. I'm glad I didn't see that shit. But it's just so sad that these brothers lost their life, man, over who knows. Like I say, this shit been going on between them for years, even before the name changes. Because 50 Strong also changed their name as well to Dale Gang, after the death of their guy. Sometime later, another member from SODMG was murdered. That's where the MG part come in at. And his name was Molly. SODMG. Scrap or Die Molly Gang. But I shared that story, man, because it was such a sad story, and it's a story, man, that's going on in our communities as I speak. We got shit like this going on in our communities, man, every day with no goddamn peace in sight for the near future. Here in my city, man, we got, man, all kind of little gangs that's into it. I don't want to just throw the names out there because if you live in the city, you know who they are. But, you know, uh, because of shit like this, man, our communities remain unsafe, man. And nobody's trying to get these brothers together to see what can be done, man, to try to quell some of this shit that's going on. Now you may say, man, it ain't gonna never be no peace between none of these motherfuckers out here. Shit, too many people done died. I still, man, want to be a little bit optimistic that something can happen. Something can be worked out. We ain't got to be the best of friends, but we gonna stay over here and do what we do. You stay over there and do what you do, and we gonna leave it like that. And yet still, there's still no way to live, because I can't come over there and I can't come through there, even if I wanted to. I might have family on this side that I can't see, but you got to start somewhere. But I don't know, man. It's like people that have the power and influence that could possibly pull, these little sets together, man, to try to bring peace amongst each other. Instead of them doing that, it's like they glorifying this shit, man. They not realizing how many people we losing in our community, man. I'm talking about young men that we need in our community. We need their strength, man. We need their intelligence in our community. Because some of these youngsters are so bright. Just so bright, man. so talented, so artistic, but we don't find a way, man, to get them together, man, to settle their differences once and for all. All we do is, comment on motherfuckers' channels that, man, you need to get your lick back, and man, you leaving your guys hanging, and all the bullshit, instead of goddamn trying to say, man, what can be possibly done, goddamn it, man, cause we losing a lot of innocent people because of this shit. You know, uh, a shootout, goddamn it, occurs in the motherfucking community, and innocent motherfuckers getting caught up in the crossfire shit. I don't know, man. I just want to share that shit because we got scrap gangs, goddamn it, in 50 cents and 50 strong gangs in every goddamn community, man, in the U.S. And it just seems like there's nothing being done to address this shit whatsoever, man. And that's a shame. Our young people going out like flies, man. I really hate that for these young men. A lot of these young men may not grow old as me, and they deserve the right to grow old as me. I don't know what it's gonna take, family, but I hope somebody hear me that can try to get these people, these groups together, man, to try to squash this shit that's going on in the community. Rest in peace, man, to all these youngsters that lost their life, man, to this street shit out there. And hopefully, man, through our prayers and our help of them when they reaching out for help, we able to reach back, man, and not frown on them, but really help them. I guess that's my point. Until next time, family.